Whoa! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you another One Punch Man discussion. Today we're going to be talking about who can still beat Garou. There's a lot of controversy and conversations going on in the Discord about who overgrown Garou can beat, who should be like a lot weaker than him now, and who by default cannot even compete. But in the meantime, make sure you check out the link in the description below. If you'd like to support us with our Patreon, we have a bunch of different tiers you can add to and receive a bunch of different perks. You can also check out our Discord if you'd like to discuss this video's topic and others. We talk all day long. Let's hop into it. Yeah. All right, so starting off, we're going to go with Flashy Flash. Now, there are 4 individuals who were mentioned in the previous chapter, the second part of 126, who are in this video. And there's one more that I wanted to throw in there because it makes sense from what we've seen so far. So let's get started. Flashy Flash. Flashy Flash is obviously mentioned because of his speed, indomitable speed. We don't really have a good variable metric for how fast he is because we haven't seen his fastest point. We do know that the 2 ninjas who were 2 dragons, we haven't given them a proper rank, but most people were putting them towards the low dragon category. Their speed was tremendous. There were even times where they were able to outrun Flashy Flash in that fight. With this being the case, and with them fighting as well as Flashy Flash, because Flashy Flash's biggest feat, apparently, as far as we have so far, is him fighting these 2 ninjas, beating them before the rubble and the destruction that they caused throughout the entire cavern, along all the walls and the bridge, actually fell down. Before the smoke even finished cleaning up and going up. That's why it's so crazy what he did. Now, he isn't alone in this. He was fighting somebody. That means that somebody was keeping up with him as well. So the 2 ninjas are incredibly fast. The speed that fight happened at wasn't Flashy Flash's 100%. Whether it was the 2 ninjas 100% or not, that means that their 100% is pretty fucking high. Would it be crazy to say that Garou could beat the 2 ninjas? No. I wouldn't think that people would say that Garou would beat the 2 ninjas. But as we can point out sensibly, the 2 ninjas were fighting Flashy Flash. So if Flashy Flash can fly around this cavern and do all that kind of stuff and then kill them at the end, because they only got caught up when they lost their weapons, came after Flashy Flash, he hit him with those flashy kicks. Went and got a sword, hit him with the Flashy Slash. Nice combo there. Did it in split-second time period. They got cut from behind with the Flashy Slash while they were still taking the damage from the flashy kicks. It was incredible. Flashy's speed was incredible, and he turned up the speed in that moment. That's probably what's being described as closer to Flashy Flash's max, even though he's pretty calm when it happened. Regardless, they were fighting him, is what I'm pointing out. And if we think that Garou can fight the 2 ninjas, who were their 100% was around that crazy speed, and it means that we think that Garou should be able to fight Flashy Flash for a long extended time period. And even crazier so, that because we know Garou may get cut. That's a thing, that's a fact that we might have to talk about or discuss. Garou probably can get cut, but how deep? How catastrophic? How will he be able to react to it? Besides that, Flashy Flash didn't show that many things that were surpassing what Garou's capable of now, or that Garou wouldn't be able to deal with offensively if Flashy Flash came into position to. Now, Flashy Flash is very evasive. That would be the other factor in the fight. But as far as I put it right now, I don't see Flashy Flash having certain traits that you would need to get past Garou's, incredible durability, his endurance, his ability to learn in battle quickly. He's fought Blades before. And this is different because Flashy's Blades, he's moving quickly. It's not necessarily the fact that it's not the fact that he's attacking his opponents several times. It's that he's moving so fast that a single attack is all you need. It's fatal most often. So it'd be interesting to see Garou dodge one of those single slice fatal attacks, and then how Flashy would react to it. Flashy kicks was an example that we saw, but what else would happen? I'm giving Garou over Flashy Flash. But technically, we're supposed to be talking about who can still beat Garou. I don't think it's going. All right. Next is Atomic Samurai. Atomic Samurai is a similar case to Flashy Flash, but we remove the mobile mobility, right? So agility-wise, we saw up against Melzgard. I think that's pretty much the only time. Yeah, up against Melzgard, he's pretty agile in terms of evading from attacks, quick attacks, sharp attacks, heavy attacks, almost Gatlings. the way that Garou is throwing them, he can evade them, and he's also counterattacking as he's evading them. We saw that in the animation for season 1, and we actually see it in the manga replicated. It's one of the things they say consistent with. So I would bring up the argument that Atomic Samurai pretty much can't get away from Garou. It really wouldn't. Even look at the example against Black Sperm. Black Sperm hasn't shown any of the speed that Garou has shown when he was flying around Orochi, jumping off the walls, stuff like that. He doesn't compare into flashy speed whatsoever. It's not the same. So he's not going to be running away or like dodging like that. And depending on the location, which we can't set here, there's no real way to escape using the floor like he did it with Black Sperm. So this is going to be a head-on confrontation. His attack speed, which we were talking about before, is much faster than Flashy Flashes. It's arguably the fastest that we have of the S-Class heroes. We could obviously talk about Tatsumaki's telekinetic abilities. She can lift something at a distance, very far away, and it happens as soon as she decides to do it. It's technically instantaneous, or at the speed of thought, that she's manipulating her will across distance. So we could argue that she is still, by default, being able to activate her power at a distance in an instant is the fastest attack speed. We could argue that. Driveman has also had instances of very quick attack speed whenever Nian was above him, using to transform and deliver a kick in a pretty short amount of time. So there is some competition there, but in terms of like the feats or the accomplishments or the description of it, even the description of the focus atomic slash, it seems like he has the fastest attack speed, and he even improved or put more effort into his attack speed. So I would say that's the biggest problem that Garou has. That up against Metal Bat, he did an amazing job of deflecting all the different directions the bat was coming from, right? He hit it like this, he hit it like that, he was doing all kinds of different like deflective styles that like elaborated more so or showed us more so on what the water stream is really about. I don't think you can necessarily do that with a blade. Now, obviously a blade has like 3 of its sides aren't sharp, so there is potential to block it and to like, do different things with it, deflect it. That would be even likely or like would be in the possibility or in the scope possibility of the water stream. But the problem is he fast enough to get to those points? Garou is incredibly powerful. Garou is incredibly fast. We're not necessarily arguing that. But even Darkshine was able to react to one of his like spinning like unconventional like attacks for him. He was asleep. He was asleep. And Darkshine mentioned that all of his abilities, everything like just completely changed. Completely different guy, basically, when he woke up. I'm still skeptical as to how he would be able to deflect the focus atomic slash, because even that comes at a distance. We could argue that because the black sperms were falling in the air in the cavern, falling downward, that they were kind of like immobilized, stuck. They couldn't really dodge that well if they wanted to. But we've seen individuals dodge midair. We've seen individuals move around midair, whether they have propulsion capabilities or not. Point being said is that I don't believe that Garou has the ability to deflect the focus atomic slash. Maybe dodge it. That probably could be conceivable, but he could also get hit by it just as easily. Also, I'd also like to point out that I don't think that he could deflect the focus atomic slash if they're in, or an atomic slash if they're in there right then and there together, like right in front of him, like less like inches apart. I don't think he'd be able to like deflect it like that, which is dangerous because Atomic Samurai happens to use the focus atomic slash like nothing. And on even fodder, he'll quickly get into that. So maybe he could deflect the focus atomic slash, or not a focus atomic slash, an atomic slash. Maybe he could do that. I don't think so. That seems a little bit exaggerated because that was one of Atomic's. It is Atomic's like main technique, and it still holds weight. He should still let's say he's using his full power. I believe that the atomic slash would be his technique to do that because that's more of like the physical contact version. Well, the focus atomic slash is an air blade version. So I think Atomic Samurai has a way better chance of Flash beating him because his attack speed does seem to be higher. Now, it makes me think about Flash again because his attacks, like his movement speed with that single attack, there's no reason to believe that it's not faster than what Garou can react to. So maybe Flash really can be Garou. I'm not sure. Next, we have Tatsumaki. Well, before we go to Tatsumaki, let's address Metal Knight. The Metal Knight drone doesn't have hand-to-hand combat skills as far as we know. He has like suction cups where he can grab onto EC. That's about as close as we got. We see that he has like fingers and appendages, but that's probably for a different reason. He probably can punch, Sure, but I don't think he's like built for that. So we're talking about heavy firepower and guns. We know Garou can block bullets. We know Garou can block at the speed of machine guns. So he should be able to stop those type of projectiles. But like big explosions, he should also be able to tank. You're right. I don't know that the shit that he threw at the meteor, that was pretty destructive. I don't think Garou should be able to tank that. I'm about to say that like, no, yeah. Because Orochi, shit that Orochi was doing, I was going to say to the meteor. Only the maximum. Whenever Orochi transformed into his new form, that would take out the meteor. But, or maybe, we could even talk about that, but I think it would take out the meteor. But as far as like the rest of it, no. Like, no. Orochi's hand combat, whenever he like punched Garou and sent him flying, that's not taking out the meteor. So they're in the same range. We're talking about things in the same range, and that's why it was first confronted that way. Meta Knight was the first to encounter Orochi, as far as it comes with the heroes, as far as we know. So, you would think that, with that comparison, that maybe Garou wouldn't be enough to take on something like that. That's probably my analysis right now. That Orochi was able to beat Meta Knight pretty easily, but he wasn't able to beat that Garou that easily. But it does make an instance or like a comparison, probably like durability-wise. Durability, that makes sense. Because even Garou wasn't able to affect Orochi or hit him. He wasn't able to. So offensively, I have no reason to believe that Garou has more offensive capability than Meta Knight. He's more destructive. Meta Knight is completely more destructive. He proved that. Up against the meteor, Meta Knight proved that he's more destructive. But him being dismantled by Orochi like that, once again, it's off screen, so we don't know the context of it. We just know that he got dismantled pretty badly. I don't know, man. I think the fact that if Garou gets in close combat with the Meta Knight drone, it's done. It looks like it should be easy enough to penetrate. Maybe not easy enough to penetrate, but it's penetratable. Especially with current Garou's like accolades physically. I would not be surprised if Garou got in the vicinity of the Meta Knight drone if he removed a limb or two. And that debilitated him to a point where Garou could then combat him even more effectively and then beat him. Obviously, that point where he didn't get a limb in that time period would be where Meta Knight would have the best chance of beating him. And maybe even after that, he'd still have a good chance of beating him because of his advantages, his projectile or missile advantages, whatever it may be. But I do believe that Meta Knight has a better chance of beating Garou. But if Garou gets in close vicinity of Meta Knight, it's done. Or it's very likely done for Meta Knight. At the same time, remember, we've been given information about more. He has more. But he's never caught it. A meteor fell on the city, and he has an entire arsenal, and he didn't call it forth. We might have to have another video about Meta Knight. We may have to talk about Meta Knight. We may have to. We haven't done a Meta Knight. We've done one for Pig God. We've done one for Darkshine. We haven't done a Meta Knight focused video where we just like talk about the character. We may do that next because that's kind of weird. All in all, I'm gonna leave that up in the air. I can't decide that completely if Meta Knight can beat Garou right now with a single Meta Knight drone. Remember, we're talking about a single Meta Knight drone. We can add more contests. We can add more drones. 100 drones, I believe it is. And yes, Meta Knight will win. But one. It's a question. Tatsumaki. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Yeah. You can do it. Yep. Yeah. That's it, right? Yeah, she got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I was to say. That's it. You got it. The last one, though. The last one I'll bring up. Tout Imp. Now, this was a little bit more controversial because I don't know why. I guess, like, we all know the webcomic community is large in the Shogunate in particular. And it's large in the One Punch community in general because they're the originators, the ones that started it and helped it blow up. So, congrats and, kudos to them for giving us this chance to fucking do this greatness shit with the manga with Murata. But it's in my experience that, like, they have opinions from the webcomic or a character or like a viewpoint, and that, like, the manga often changes that. But some people don't. Some people don't get changed by it. Some, not the majority, a small minority. So I would say that, like, the small minority is vocal though, and I've been giving like vocal resistance towards Tout Emperor in general. Like, people even disregarding his accolades up against the Phoenix Man fight. So to disregard all those thoughts, and this is like specifically for those who are rereading, If you're doing rereading actively, you know which characters are pretty tough. You know which characters, their feats are actually still holding up pretty greatly in the series right now. Like, for example, Metal Bat slamming the floor down, lifting a bunch of cars in the area around him, and cracking a building. There's not many niggas that are matching that feat. Neon did not match that feat. Drive Knight didn't match that feat. There's a bunch of people have not matched that feat that have been coming out after that point, and people are saying that they're stronger than him. That's fine because they have other traits and things that like do affirm that they're stronger than Metal Bat, but that's something that if you reread and then continue reading the entire series, people haven't done that. People haven't done that. There's a lot of people who have not done that. So, to just try Emperor. He's shown it almost all. Like, he'll obviously have to get out the Metal Knight drone. Excuse me, he'll obviously have to get out the Brave Giant drone. Hand-to-hand wise by himself, he may be able to like last a second, but no, Garou's too fast. He's way too fast. Way too fast. I would say with his lightsaber flute, you could probably fend him off for a second, but it would be like one or two swings and he'd get disarmed and then punched, and Garou would probably punch through his stomach or something like that. Right? It'd be some crazy drastic shit. So bringing out the Brave Giant drone, his shield, his big saber, Delta saber, his machine gun on his head, missiles that he has out. He has a variety of things. Like I mentioned, the drones have beams themselves. He sets up traps with the drones. He sets up traps himself. He has a lot of tricks. A lot of tricks. And if they go hand to hand, there's no reason to believe that he couldn't match it. Well, no. If they go hand to hand, 100% Brave Giant isn't matching Garou. But the offensive capability of Phoenix Man, he was his strength and shit like that. He was matching Brave Giant, and this wasn't like some little shit. Brave Giant was showing crazy feats, like strength-wise, speed-wise as well. He was moving pretty quickly, but like mostly strength-wise, he wasn't a joke. Like it's not a crazy thing to compare Darkshine and Brave Giant right now. Actually, Brave Giant has more destructive feats than Darkshine. Darkshine hasn't shown as much strength, like physical strength and physical capability, as the Brave Giant has right now. So he is, even though we do believe, and I have a sense of feel that like Darkshine should be able to produce more physical strength, he hasn't. He has not. Nothing that Darkshine has done in One Punch Man is stronger physically than what Brave Giant has done. So if Garou's claiming that by proving up against Darkshine, he can prove that he can do anything up against all the rest of them, then that's also true for Brave Giant. He'll have to prove himself against Brave Giant. And we know he can't match the maxes. We're talking about let's address the super alloy bazooka, right? That's the strongest, looks like, punch that we've seen from Darkshine. It was matched immediately by Garou. We haven't seen the consequence of damage from that. Let's assume it's substantial. It still wouldn't match because the floor is still with them. They're still on the ground and shit. As far as we know, the place around them hasn't collapsed. The association isn't gone. Like, it's not matching the giant fist strike 100% with boosters on it. It's not matching the Nova. I don't believe he did it before. He ripped off Genos' arm, but he's not going to rip off Brave Giant's arm like Phoenix Man did. He's got shields and stuff to help protect him. He's a competent fighter. Phoenix Man did mention that he's kind of clunky in the suit, but mid-fight, he was able to like adjust that. He was doing well. He was doing effectively. Even Phoenix Man mentioned that like I have to commend you. You're an actual S class. You're a true S class. Like, he was talking shit, but like the Brave Giant proved itself. Phoenix Man proved himself because of the Brave Giant, and those are like some of the best feats that we have for the S class right now. So like maybe hand to hand, Garou has the advantage because of his skill and his mobility with his skill. Brave Giant, in terms of like people flying around him, moving around him, isn't that mobile. He can be outsped. And I would say that Phoenix Man and Garou will probably run the same speed. Phoenix Man's feats were like crazy fast, especially in his Falcon mode, but Garou was flying around Orochi pretty quick. I would say that Phoenix Man probably is a little bit faster, but like Garou's around that same thing. So like, but combat-wise, hand-to-hand wise, they're not even comparable. Phoenix Man may be stronger than him, physically stronger. He could stop more, and like probably like if he was able to catch, or if he was fast enough to catch Garou's fist, he'd probably catch it. And I think he actually is, like, agility-wise. Gotta think of a feat where, like, there really aren't that many feats where he's, like, going, like, agility-wise hand-to-hand combat. So, like, how fast somebody's throwing attacks and moving to attack and shit like that. I don't think Phoenix has that many feats that way, but his overall speed is fast. So it's a question like, what are we like? What is he gonna have to do to like to get to Brave? Like maybe Brave's durability can be in question, but he tanked a lot as well. He dealt with a lot as well, even extreme heat from the Nova, the actual damage from the fist strike going through or like slamming to the ground or whatever. Yeah, man, I think Brave China probably takes Garou right now too. Yeah. And I'm not gonna just the other one Bang because I'm gonna do a separate video on that. But Bang versus Garou is a video that will, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Bang versus Garou. Yeah. 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 Yo!